Hello, everybody, and welcome to the NXT review. 2 title changes on this show tonight, and I don't know how I feel about them. I'll definitely make up my mind in this review because there is a lot to dig into. We had matches announced for Worlds Collide. We had title changes. We even had characters evolving. So, crazy episode of NXT tonight. Obviously, the normal Orlando, Florida Performance Center. It was an awesome show overall. But opening the show, I was pretty surprised because we got Ricky Saints and Ethan Page. My pick for this match was Ethan Page. But seeing it open the show, I was like, maybe Ricky retains. I was leaning more over Ricky retaining. But before Mike Rome could even announce the contestants of this match, Ethan attacked Ricky. And they kept brawling until Ava came out there and announced that it was a no disqualification match, which they used perfectly because Ethan Page hit Ricky Saints with a cutter onto an upside down chair, which already hurt his neck. Then to end the match, Ethan makes the ropes hit Ricky's neck, and then he hits him with the cutter to become the new North American champion. I have a lot of mixed opinions because I feel like that Ethan, yes, will be a great champion. But I also feel like that Ricky was so good. And I think it's too early to bring him up to the main roster. I know that's what people are saying, but after the main event, I think it's almost for sure that Stephanie Vaquer is going to the main roster. So I think that, yes, this was a good decision, but especially seeing what they got plans for World Collide, I think that Ethan will not walk out with that championship at Worlds Collide, and I'll finally get my moment. We'll talk about that whenever it gets to that in the show. But I think it's bittersweet. Ethan, yes, he's been wanting his moment for so long, and he's been wanting it bad. Ever since he was NXT champion and lost the trick again, it's been on a decrease for him. And now that he's finally gotten a championship, I feel so good for him. But at the same time, I just don't know how I feel. I'm excited to see what he can do with the championship, but he can literally do nothing in the span of 2 weeks before Worlds Collide, so he's pretty much out of luck. But it'll be a short little title reign. Don't know if he'll walk out of Worlds Collide with it. I'd plan on no. Next up, we get the, announcement of Yoshiki Inamura says to Josh Briggs that he came back for Josh Briggs and that now Josh and Yoshiki want to go after bigger things. They want to go after the tag titles and they want to go after everything. And after they beat the Culling and destroy the Culling, they're going to go on to win the tag titles. So that's obviously breaking a friendship there. We know Hank and Tank and Josh Briggs and Yoshiki Inamura stood tall at Battleground, but we're going to have to break that bridge as soon as it comes time for Josh Briggs and Yoshiki Inamura to take those titles off of them, which I would really enjoy because I love Yoshiki and Josh, and I'm not a huge fan of Hank and Tank. So I would love that whenever they eventually do decide to go after the tag titles. Next up, we see the NXT in-ring debut of Mike Santana against Tavion Heights. This was a very back-and-forth match from the get-go. We saw an awesome match between these two. After a cool sequence of moves, Mike hits Tavion with a spinning clothesline to end the match, and I thought that it was an awesome match. And after the match, we even saw some signs of respect from Mike and Tavion. But one thing that really caught my eye was Charlie Dempsey's face after Tavion lost. We know Charlie's been trying to hype up Miles Bourne and Tavion Heights to go do better things, and now that they're losing, Charlie does not like that. So, obviously, we're hinting at a no-quarter catch crew breakup, and we get a lot more on that later in the night. We see Luca Crucifino and Tony D'Angelo. We see a confrontation between those two after what happened at Battleground. We obviously know that Luca technically costed Tony D'Angelo the match against Stax, and they sat down. Luca says that if he would have called Tony and let him know about Stax, it would have put him, Rizzo, Tony, and everybody else in at risk of getting injured. So he makes that the reason why he didn't call Tony for help. Tony says that he doesn't know who to trust, and Luca tells Tony that he can trust him. Obviously, this is becoming textbook. This is becoming a TV show at this point. It really started to get real whenever we saw Stax and Luca in the desert. And at Battleground, we figured out that Luca was not dead. Luca did not get buried. Nothing happened to Luca. But we figured out that he's still alive and that he ended up kind of costing Tony. So it was cool to see this. But I think in the end, we're going to find out that Luca is trying to trick Tony into believing that he's safe and that he's the one to trust, whenever really it's all a part of a plan to just kick Tony out the group and make Stacks the new leader. I don't think the family's dead. I think they'll still go after the name of the family once Rizzo comes back and once Luca Crucifino finally turns his back on Tony D'Angelo. I think that that's where they're going. I think that eventually Tony will realize that and he'll start getting a little bit shady, because the whole reason why Tony D'Angelo, or the whole reason why Stacks is kind of branching out from Tony's shadow, is because Stacks did not like how Tony thought of the group. So now Stacks wants to take over, and Luke is going to be completely okay with that because he didn't look mad at Stacks whenever they brought him to the desert. So he was just so confused. So I think that's where they're going. I think they're going with the angle that Luke is going to turn on Tony, and we're just going to see this mass building of the family 2.0. I think that's where we're going. We see Trick Williams come out, and we know that he defeated Joe Hendry at Battleground to make history, and become the first NXT superstar to win the TNA Knockouts World title on an NXT PLE. Trick calls himself Hollywood Trick. And again, it's kind of hinting. What, bro? It's kind of hinting at the angle of Trick maybe getting with John Cena. I know it's not something y'all want to hear, but it's something I have to throw out there, because if I don't throw it out there, then whenever it happens, y'all are going to say I never said it. So I'm throwing it out there. But he brags about all his accolades, how he beat Joe, how he's a multiple-time NXT champion, how he's a one-time North American champion. He brags about all his accolades, and he says that he's turning his back on the fans, and that now he's going to TNA and changing the name to Trick NA. So that was obviously a big thing, and I was like, whoa. But then we see Mike Santana come out, and I wasn't expecting that, especially after his match with Tavion. He comes out and says that Trick is not his champion and that he's already tearing down TNA. So he says that he's a disgrace to TNA, and that he said that he does not belong to be the champion. And Mike keeps bragging about how he's from New York and all this. And Mike calls Trick a pretender. He's a pretending rapper, he's a pretending wrestler, and he's a pretending champion. So that obviously kind of sets Trick off. But then we see Mike Santana. Well, we see how do I put this? The TNA, I guess, manager of TNA come and say that Trick Williams and Mike Santana will be facing each other next week on NXT for the TNA World title. I think Trick's retaining, obviously. I think he's going to hold this title for a hot minute, and especially hearing Trick say that he is going to go on to TNA and make things better and make things how he wants it to be, I think we will definitely see Mike Santana fall short. It'll kind of hurt him just a little bit, but I think it won't hurt him enough to make a difference. So I think Trick's going to go on to defeat him, and especially in this segment we saw Trick try to make a move on Mike, but Mike gets the upper hand and stands tall over Trick, which is obviously indicating that we're going to be seeing Trick defeat. We're going to see Trick defeat Mike. It's a common thing in pro wrestling. You get one person standing tall one week, and the next week they absolutely destroy him. It's just something that's going to happen. So that's obviously a huge thing. I'm really excited for next week, and I think that obviously Trick's going to come out with the dub. It gets announced that, before Stephanie Vaquer's warming up backstage, Ava comes up to Stephanie and says that she needs to pick a partner for AAA. And we hear a voice, and it turns out to be Lola Vice. Lola Vice and Stephanie Vaquer are teaming up against two AAA talents at Worlds Collide. Whenever I saw the poster for Worlds Collide, I was wondering why people like Lola Vice, Javon Evans, Ray Phoenix, and all these other people were on the poster. And we figured out in the show why half of them is on the poster. So it makes sense why Stephanie and Lola's on the poster, because they're going to have a match, and it makes a whole bunch of sense on why their team, who they're going against, is going to be on the card as well. So very cool to see. I love seeing Lola and Stephanie team up. It's going to be awesome. And they're really playing into the perspective that Lola speaks Spanish, or whatever they're speaking. I don't even know. But they're really playing into that role, which I think is awesome. Next up, we see the continuation of, I guess you could call a storyline, in Jada Parker versus Tatum Paxley. And during the middle of the match, Jada grabs a doll with red hair, or orange hair, throws it in the ring. That distracts Tatum Paxley. And we know she's been on this whole thing about how emotional she is about her friends going away. So Jada grabs that doll, throws it in the ring. That catches Tatum's attention. She hits her with her finisher, pins her 1, 2, 3. And after the match, Thea Hill attacks her and offends her away. But this was a big hint. It kind of brought up Gigi Dolan, because we know Gigi had orange hair, and this was a very touchy subject for Tatum Paxley. So she grabbed the only one with orange hair. Mind me, there was one with red hair and orange hair, or yellow hair, and then there was that one with orange hair, and she threw it in the ring, and that's what caught her attention. I thought that was very cool. But I'm excited for Thea Hill attacking Jada. I think Thea needs to keep her momentum. The fans are loving her. I think she had awesome momentum at Stand and Deliver, and I think they should have run with that. But they didn't. And so I'm guessing this is going to set up a match next week. So I'm hoping, at least, because then we'll finally be able to see Thea Hill defeat Jada, hopefully. But Jada's been on a mean streak, so I wouldn't be surprised if she does win. But either way, very cool. We see Jasper Troy's in-ring NXT debut versus Dante Chen. And I thought this match was very weird. Dante got a lot of offense in this match. This should have been a under 3-minute match. This should have been a 5-minute match at max. And we ended up seeing Dante Chen last a long time whenever he should have only been in there for 3 minutes. Jasper Troy was the winner of LFG, mind you. He should be squashing anybody. He is an offensive lineman, and he is a dog, 300-pound dog. There's no reason he should be almost losing to Dante Chen. Mind you, he walks out with chains around his neck and carrying chains. He should not be losing. So, in the end, Jasper defeated Dante, but he should not have gotten that offense in the first place. But after the match, we hear the voice of Obafemi, where he's standing on the little NXT ledge, and he says that he's impressed with Jasper Troy, but he says that Jasper's 5 seconds of fame will go away once Oba decides to take it away from him. So Oba's putting Jasper on notice. We know last week Jasper attacked Oba in this awesome surprise ahead of Miles Bourne versus Obafemi at Battleground, and it pretty much shocked the NXT world. So now we're seeing Oba kind of check Jasper and telling him that he can destroy him anytime he wants, and this will really be the battle of the giants. I'm more excited for this match between Jasper Troy and Obafemi than I was for Obafemi versus Moose. That's just my opinion. I was super excited for Moose versus Obafemi, but seeing the ending of it and seeing Oba win I thought was really cool, but there was just no reason for it. So I'm excited to see how Jasper Troy matches up to Obafemi. I think he should have absolutely squashed Dante tonight. And I think that they should have done that, because now we're seeing Jasper go after Obafemi. Oba's knocked down so many doors for NXT, there's no way he's losing to a guy like Jasper. So this was not a good showing for Jasper, and I think they really goofed his in-ring debut. Next up, we see Miles Bourne, Charlie Dempsey, Ren Sinclair, and Tavion Heights in their little dungeon, like an MMA training dungeon. And Miles and Charlie announced that they're going head-to-head, and if Miles Bourne wins, he gets to branch off into his own single star. Because we see once again Charlie be mad at Tavion and Miles for not winning their matches, and Miles says that he doesn't want to be a tag team no more. He wants to be a single guy, and he wants to run with the momentum he has. Charlie says no, so they're going head-to-head next week in a rounds match to see who will, and if Miles wins, he gets to branch off onto his own character. I think that's cool. I'm not going to speak much on that. I think it's awesome, and I think Miles will definitely win. Ethan Page comes out and says that instead of celebrating another night, he's going to celebrate right now. Since he just won the title, he's going to celebrate tonight. He comes out, and as soon as he says that, Javon Evans' music hits. He announces that World Collide, he will be facing Ethan Page. But then we see the Laredo kid come out, and he comes out and says that he is coming for the title, and that was a shocker. But then we see that Javon says that he is going against one more person too, which turns out to be Ray Phoenix. And and Ray would come out and announce that it's going to be a Fatal 4-Way match at Worlds Collide. This is insane. I saw Ray Phoenix on the card, but I thought for sure, I saw Ray Phoenix on the poster, but I thought for sure he was going to have a one-on-one match, maybe with Penta versus somebody else from AAA or something like that. But no, we're seeing him in a Fatal 4-Way match for the North American Championship. That's awesome. I am hyped for this match, and I think it's probably the best thing going into Worlds Collide. If I hate to say it, it's the best match for sure. We're probably going to see one of the best matches I've seen in a while from this Fatal 4-Way at Worlds Collide. I'm excited, and I think it'll really break down some doors. I'm super excited. I think the ticket sales are going to be through the roof with this if they keep doing it up like they are. It's going to be awesome. We cut to Ava backstage, and she announces that Shawn Legacy will be facing the winner of that Fatal 4-Way, which there was a lot of questions on when will Shawn Legacy finally get his opportunity to face the champion. And Ava announces here that he'll be facing the winner of the Fatal 4-Way match between Ray Phoenix, Javon Evans, the Lorenzo Kid, and Ethan Page for the title of Worlds Collide. That's awesome. He's not going to win the title. He's in Evolve. He does not have time to come into the main roster and defend the title. So, obviously, I think Javon Evans is going to win this Fatal 4-Way. But I think he's going to go on to defeat Shawn Legacy finally after losing to him. And that's how we're going to get it. I think it's going to be full circle. We see backstage an interesting segment. Sol Ruca and Zarya walk up to Tatum Paxley after her loss to Jada Parker. And they said that whenever Tatum's free to talk, if she wants to talk, they're open to talk. While this is happening, the Colin are looking at Sol Ruca and Zarya, which makes me think that Zarya is going to turn on Sol Ruca, join the calling, and take out Sol Ruca. That's what's going on. Or it's something to do with Tatum Paxley. But we've been seeing these little hints of the calling around every women's superstar in the WWE. We've been seeing them in the background of everything. They're kind of like Karrion Kross. So, to see this, especially in front of Zarya, and seeing the ways that this could go, is insane. And I think that's the way they're going to go, with Zarya eventually turning her back on Sol Ruca and going on to join the calling and defeat Sol Ruca. I think that's exactly what's going to happen. And in the main event, Stephanie Vaquer takes on Jacy Jayne for the NXT Championship. I thought that this didn't deserve to be in the main event. Yes, we're building up a storyline between Jacy Jayne, Fallon, and Jasmine Nix splitting up, but what is the point if Stephanie's going to retain? That's what I thought. Start of the match, Stephanie wasted no time attacking Jacy. And during the match, Stephanie's opponents for AAA came out and tried to distract Stephanie Vaquer. Lola Vice comes out, attacks them. They go to the back. They fight in the back. Fallon tries to distract Stephanie Vaquer. Another distraction. Stephanie gets distracted a little bit. Jacy tries to hit Stephanie. Stephanie moves out the way and pushes Jacy into Fallon. So already off to a bad start. Then we see Jacy and Fallon arguing face to face on the outside. Jasmine tries to break it up. Fallon and Jacy pushes Jasmine down. What? So we're obviously going to see a breakup. That's what's running through my mind. We might see a breakup there after the match. But then we see Fallon get in the ring Fallon gets on the apron, kicks Stephanie with like this 619 looking thing around the pole, while the ref is distracted with Jasmine Nix. She hits her with that. Stephanie's stunned. Fallon throws her back into the ring, where Jacy Jayne would hit her like a spinning elbow, and pin Stephanie Vaquer 1, 2, 3. That's it. Stephanie loses to Jacy Jayne for the NXT Championship. What is going on? And don't mind me. Yes, I think Stephanie's going to the main roster, but I'm kind of glad that Jacy won. I just wish it would have been Jasmine. I love Jasmine. Not a big fan of Jacy or Fallon. I just don't think they're that good. And after the match is what really set me off. Seeing how Jasmine, Fallon, and Jacy all looked like they were not just arguing. Mind you, during the match, Jasmine Nix at one point walked away from Fallon and Jacy because she did not want to be near them. But then after the match, everything's fine. She's a champion. It does not matter. And obviously, this is setting up a banger match between these three. But when will we see it? Nobody knows because they've been building a storyline up for months. It's kind of like Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. They're building it up so long that at this point nobody cares. But now they're trying to build more attraction to it, putting the title on Jacy Jayne for some reason. And yes, I think Stephanie Vaquer is going to the main roster. Where are you going to put her on the main roster right now? You put her on Raw, she's going to go mid card. She's not getting launched up into the World Championship picture. She's not. So where's she gonna go? We already see her face Ivy Nile. She defeated Ivy Nile. We saw her. I think she at one point even beat somebody else as well. I think she has 2 matches on Raw so far on the main roster. She's ready now. She's ready to come up. Same with Ricky Saints. I just don't think he's ready. So we're gonna see Stephanie Vaquer come up. Where does she go up? She comes up on Raw. She most likely goes after Lyra Valkyria in that IC Championship. She can't right now. That's occupied by Becky and Lyra at Money in the Bank. We can't have her qualify for a Money in the Bank match because there is no way in any world that she wins a Money in the Bank match. She can't go to SmackDown because what sense does it make to have Zelina Vega and Chelsea Green's feud get absolutely split up by a Stephanie Vaquer rivalry? It doesn't make any sense. And yes, it would be awesome to see Mexico and Chile go head-to-head in a match with those two. It's not going to happen. The most realistic right now would be USA versus Mexico versus Chile in a triple threat match at whatever PLE is next. It would have to be Money in the Bank. But I'm pretty sure that we're eventually going to see the match between Chelsea and Zelina be brought back up. But it kind of looks like that Chelsea Green's going to be out for a couple of weeks with a broken nose. So is Chelsea going to miss Money in the Bank? And if she doesn't, are we going to see the triple threat? And let me know in the comments now. Do y'all think that she is that wherever Stephanie Vaquer will do after this, will she go up to the main roster? What brand will she go to, and what is she going to do? My best bet is going to be SmackDown. She's not going to get launched up to a world title picture, in my opinion. She's going to go after a mid-card title, and I think she'll eventually win a mid-card title, but I think it's going to be a Cinderella story. I have a bad feeling, and I just got this feeling that they're just going to run her in the ground. And I feel like that, as much as I hate to say it, I know it's a bit random, but as much as everybody hates Booker T, I think we're going to really miss him after a couple of matches from Stephanie Vaquer without him being able to add these little ad-libs to her moves. I think that after a couple of times of us fans not recognizing that Booker T's on commentary, and we finally realized, like, hey, Booker T was half of this girl's momentum, we'll finally realize that, hey, she might not be as good as we thought. Don't get me wrong. She is the second best women's wrestler in NXT, in my opinion. Solrook is number 1. Solrook is number 1. If y'all want to hear my thoughts about that, go on the YouTube now. We already got that video up. So, Solrook is number 1. Stephanie Vaquer is number 2. And if we take away Stephanie from NXT, Solrook is at the top 20 times out of 10. So there's nothing else. There's no more competition for Solrook, and there's definitely more competition ahead for Stephanie Vaquer at the main roster. This is where NXT is. You take that step to the main roster, and you're facing the best competition in the world, including every promotion under the sun. So where does Stephanie Vaquer go? That's where I want y'all to play y'all's part here. Where does she go, and what is she going to do? Because Jacy Jayne is looking top of the world right now, and she's looking like she cannot be touched. So, is she going to get turned on? Obviously. When is it going to come? Nobody knows because they're not going to make an action on it. So, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. I'm thinking that we're just going to have the regular. They're just going to turn on, and we're going to eventually see that triple threat, especially seeing that now Jasmine's kind of thrown into the mix. I'm super excited, though. What the future holds for Jacy Jayne is really huge, and especially what the future holds for Jasmine Nix. She is a rising star. She's one of the best. So, to see her get involved in this rivalry is something huge that people don't understand. But I want to thank y'all for watching. This was an amazing stream, and I'm really excited to keep doing this. But without enough things being said, I think we only did this for like 25 minutes. But without further ado, I hope y'all enjoyed the stream, And trust me, we're going to be doing a lot tomorrow, an early stream tomorrow, breaking down everything.